Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 16 of my Billionaire Minecraft series where I will collect 1 billion iron ingots, gold ingots, diamonds, and emeralds using the All the Mods 6 mod pack in modded Minecraft 1.16. In today's episode, I am finally going to move to a new location for my primary base, so let's get started. So the first thing that I want to do is shut off this machine, and I want to build some teleporters so that I can quickly traverse between my old location and my new location. So let's see if we can't build those. So first off, we need to make matter transmitters, and I'm going to need at least 2 of these today. So the matter transmitter is made like this. I should have several machine frames made already, so I shouldn't have to make those. And so I need 2 matter transmitters at least and 2 matter receivers, so let's build those. And then I'm also going to need a dialing device, which allows me to tell the matter transmitters which matter receivers to hook up to. So let's go ahead and make that real fast as well. And I'm not sure if I have the torches. I do. So what I need to do now is I actually need to get energy to the matter transmitters and matter receivers. Actually, I'm not sure if I need to do all of them, but I am going to go ahead and hook them up to power just very briefly, so that they can get some energy. So let's just build a little bit right here, and let's hook these up to power. And I actually don't think the matter receivers need power right now, but I know the dialing device will, because I need to use it here in just a second. One thing I do want to make is a battery, so before I move on. So let's make some... I think I'm going to try to make these basic energy cubes from Mechanism. I should have just about everything I need to do that. So I'm going to need 2 of these, and I want to make 2 of these. So let's see what else. So I think I need 4 of these. And I actually don't want those to get in. Well, whatever. They have energy. Let's see if I can't go ahead and use them in the recipe. I can. So there we go. Now I have 2 energy cubes, and my flux capacitor is actually charging them. So that's cool. They are going to need energy. So what I want to do now is I want to name these. So this matter transmitter I'm going to call old send, and this one will be new send, because it's a matter transmitter or sender. And then this one right here I'm gonna do old rec. And this one can be new rec. Cool. So now, if I click on the dialing device, I see all of these here. And what we can do is I can dial them up. So let's go ahead and dial those up. So the new sender I want to send to the old receiver, and then the old sender I want to send to the new receiver. So, and now that these are glowing like this, you know that they are dialed to something. And if you look at the tooltips at the top middle of the screen, you will see that it is dialed to the matter receivers that I told it to be to. So let's go ahead and test this out. And so that one works. And that is very instant. And it does use energy. I'm not sure what the energy requirements are, to be honest. But what I want to do now is let's go ahead and pick up this dialing device because I no longer need it, at least not right now. Let's go ahead and store that away in my ME system right here. And let's go ahead and pick up the new receiver and the new sender, which is this one right here. And what I'm going to do just briefly is I'm going to put them down out here, because I do want to move the ones on the interior to permanent locations for this base. So let me see, is there any good place to put these? Honestly, not super. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sender over here. And the receiver honestly can kind of go anywhere. I just don't want the matter transmitter to be somewhere where I might accidentally step on it. So it's out of the way right there. I do need to hook it up to energy, but I can probably do that pretty easily just running this cable underground here. So let's go ahead and cover this back up. And let me get out my flux bore here. Let me change it to single block mode. I should be able to pretty quickly hook it up to power because I have power down here. And actually, I'm not going to need these 2 basic energy cubes today. I don't think I need them anyways. So that's hooked up to energy. I will need one of them though. Or I'm going to use one of them rather. Honestly, I probably don't need either one, but it's nice to have. So what I'm going to do with the matter receiver is I'm just going to put it here. And I'm just going to run the energy conduit from over here. There's no reason not to do this way. And that way the matter receiver is just kind of in the center of my old base here. Or what will be known as my old base. So where's my matter receiver? I never picked it up, did I? Yeah. Okay, so let's put that right there. It is connected to energy. Let's go ahead and tidy this up real fast, and then we can move on. Cool. So this should teleport me to the one out there. Let me make sure I do have old receiver and old sender. This should be old send. Yep. Okay, so let's pick up these guys out here. And those are hooked up to the energy system here, so I shouldn't have any issue with them running out of power. If the matter transmitter runs out of power as you're trying to use it, I think it just won't send you. And then if the matter receiver actually runs out of energy as it's trying to receive you, I believe it will kill you actually. So that's something that we don't want. It is hooked up to energy, so it should be fine. So I am going to go ahead and throw away this dirt. I don't need it. And so what I want to do now is I think it's just about time to fly over to my new area that I'm going to be using. But first off, I do want to show you how to make an elevator here because they are going to be something that I'm going to be using quite a bit. It's just wool and ender pearls. So I did create some of those. Also, I created some MA controllers for today's episode. And I built those in a previous episode, so I'm not going to do that again. As well as the bigger reactor stuff for a reactor. I am going to build another reactor today, so I did make everything, hopefully, that I need for that. One thing I do want to grab before I leave this area, though, I think I want to grab a hopper. You know what? I don't want to grab a hopper. I don't think I need it. Actually, you know what? I might need it just at the very beginning. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think I have just about everything that I will need. So let's go ahead and take a snooze. Actually, this is great because I will have a full day to work at the new location. So I actually have a waypoint already set. I've done a lot of exploring between episodes, and I found an area that I think will work out very nicely. So that area is down here. This is a very flat area that is, I think, like a lavender. It's just full of lavender flowers. So let's go ahead and point ourselves towards that and start flying. So thankfully I have this jetpack here and I can fly very quickly. So this trip won't take very long at all. However, once I have the matter transmitter set up and matter receiver over here, I will no longer have to even do this little journey. I will just be able to teleport between the two locations. And that's super useful. So I am getting somewhat closer here. As you see, this is kind of a wooded meadow biome, but there's like a swamp over there as well. So this area is just basically super, super flat, and I got a really bad freeze there. But I have cleared out a lot of the lavender flowers from this area, or from some of the area anyways. And I think I want to set up my base to be right here. I really like having flat areas for my base because I like to do a lot of things underground. And I just like everything just being flat. It's just easier to deal with. So what I want to do now is I actually want to do a little digging. And let's go ahead and set this to 7x7 mode. And let's get started with that. So thankfully I didn't run into anything too scary there. And what I want to build now is a large ME controller. And before I do that, let me make sure I'm at the right depth here. I'm going to kind of build this out as I have in the past. If you watch my any of my previous series, basically I like to build a network of things underground so that A, you can't see them, and B, it's really easy for me to connect up conduits in the future, like such as energy in my ME system. So let's go ahead, and this is kind of going to be the center of my base here. And what I want to do now is clear out just a little area to tell me where my streets are going to be. And actually, let's clear out just a little bit more here. Let's do 5 in each direction because I do want this to be one more deeper. Okay, there we go. And then let's do the remaining 2 directions as well. Sorry about that. I actually dug 1 too deep in the middle there. So, actually, did I? I don't think I did. So anyways, I want to build my ME controller here, and that is, like I've said, a multi-block structure. So there are limits to how big you can make this. I believe it's 7, and I could actually test that if I really wanted to. But you can kind of make this in a lot of different shapes. I believe that is valid, but I'm not entirely sure. And there is, like I said, there is a... Basically, you can't make it too big. And I think this would qualify as too big, unless they've changed it. And there's very possible that they have, since I've less dealt with this mod. But anyways, I made that way too big, didn't I? So let me go ahead and set this to 7x7 mode so that I can clear a lot of this out real fast, because I do not want these blocks here. And now I'm holding shift so that it'll do a single block at a time. So let's go ahead and build this thing like I actually want it. So it's going to be a rather large structure, but that gives me more connectivity in the future so that I can expand the system quite a bit. Okay, so that's the base at 7x7. And then we are going to build this up, and it's going to be not quite as up to the surface because I'm going to have basically a road over the top of this. So let's go ahead and finish this up. I think this should be a valid structure. I might be... Yeah, I think it should be valid once I complete it. Hi, Mr. Sheep. And I don't know if I brought quite enough of these ME controllers. Even if I didn't, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because the structure would still, I believe, be valid. Like right now, I believe it would be a valid structure. I don't have to connect this or anything. So there we go. That should be my ME controller once I get it energized. And let's go ahead and work on that right now. So what I want to do is build a reactor, basically starting here and actually going down. So let's go ahead and do that real fast. And I'm actually considering, you know what, it should be fine. So let's go ahead and go to 5x5 mode. So right now I'm already indented 1 into this controller here. So I actually want to build this reactor to be 5x5x10. So I want it to be 10 high. So I'm indented 1 already. So I'm starting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be as tall as I want it. So let's grab reactor casings. Let's go ahead and throw away some of this dirt because I don't need it. And let's go ahead and build the base of this reactor. I'm not sure what the limits as far as how big you can build bigger reactors are. And I believe it's actually configurable in the config files. But I know that 5x5x10 should be well within the default configuration for that. So let's go ahead and kind of build the shell out. And that should be good. Now I just need to connect up these right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, that is not the right block there. And that's because I am actually running out of the reactor casings. And I actually might have to go back to my old base and grab some more of these. But I do have everything that I need to make more of them. So that should not be a big deal. And you know what? Let's go ahead and, because I do want to grab something, let's go ahead and temporarily put down my matter transmitter and receivers. And let's just put them over here. And like I said, this is a temporary location. And one more thing I do want to do is I want to chunk load this area. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to make this base rather big, so I might as well just go ahead and chunk load all this stuff right now. So first off, I need to claim it. Now I need to chunk load it, and I'm doing that by holding shift as I do this the second time around. The first time I was not holding shift. So there we go. This should be chunk loaded now. And let's go ahead and hop in. This should send me back to my old base, so that's fantastic. And I probably have a bunch of items over there at my transmitter, but that's okay. So I do want to grab a wand, a builder's wand. So let's grab a builder's wand. And right now I'm going to go with the diamond wand. There's also an infinity wand, but obviously I don't have nether stars yet, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let's go ahead and throw away this cobblestone and this, this zychronite. Do not need that right now. And I want to grab more reactor casings, so let's go ahead and do that real fast. And let's go ahead and build just a few more here, maybe another stack or so. So that should be good. That should be more than enough. I also have some reactor glass because I do want to have some glass in my reactor so that I can see inside of it. So let's hop on back over here, and that is pretty fantastic. So let's throw away some of the stuff that's kind of in the way. And because it's just annoying me that it's in my inventory. I don't need the aluminum. Not really a big deal. So let's go ahead and kind of finish out the structure. Let's grab the wand because the wand should make this easier to build. And as you can see, it's actually building all the way around the reactor when I do that. So this bottom layer here, I am not going to use the wand. I'm going to do this once again because I do not want to place blocks in the wrong locations. So what I'm going to do as far as the react or as far as the fuel rods, I'm actually going to have 3 fuel rods. And then the rest of this is going to be empty space for right now. And actually, I can use my wand for this. In the future, I can expand this reactor if I want to. I don't see myself needing to do that. This reactor should provide enough energy until I basically upgrade my energy generation at this base. So I'm not sure if I can place the reactor terminal on the top or not in this iteration of this mod. But I know in the past I could. So I'm going to try it. I'm not sure if it'll allow me to do that or not. And then I do need to figure out where I want my power tap. I think I'm going to put it right here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually put some conduit right here so that I can give power to my MA controller. And then I'm going to put the power tap right here. So basically I have that one conduit that's connected to the power tap and to the controller. And that's where I'm going to be drawing power out of this reactor. And then on the top here, let's go with reactor casing. So like I said, I'm not sure if this is a valid design or not. It is, so that's cool. One thing or 2 things I forgot was the I/O for the reactor itself. Basically, I can't fuel it right now. So let's hop on over to my old base and make up a few of those real fast. So let's grab the reactor access hatch, or access ports rather. So I do need 2 of these. And there we go. I am going to need this hopper, but I will need it on the extract rather than the input. At first, I will need it for the input, though. So let's actually grab some more uranium as well. I do have a little bit more here. And I think I'm going to need a little bit more uranium than my smaller reactors use, just to fuel this new reactor up. And actually, I should only need, what, 24 ingots, I think. So I need to figure out where I want my access hatch, or my access hatches to be. And I think that's going to be pretty easy. I'm just going to put them on either side of the reactor here. So let's put one right here. And this one can be the input. Yes, this one can be the input. And then let's see if I can't put one over here. And this one can be the output. So let's set this to be output and waste. And I do need to put a hopper, and let's go ahead and have the hopper going down. It's not actually going to be going to anything. The hopper is just here to collect the cyanide ingots that are ejected from the reactor access port. So I believe that this iteration of the mod, it will just eject them out into the world. If you have this configured to, if you have the output configured to output waste, and basically the hopper's just here to collect that. And then what I'm going to do is going to put an import bus on this hopper. And I think I'm actually first of all going to move this access port down one, just to make the logistics a little easier here. So let me go ahead and place back this so that this is back to being a valid structure. Let's set that back to be output. Let's put this hopper back down. I'm doing it this way because I do want to put an import bus right here, but I can't do that just yet because I don't have an import bus with me. So let me hop back to my old base, and I do want to sleep and make an import bus. I don't want mobs around as I'm trying to build this out. So let's go ahead and grab an import bus. I already have an export bus made because I knew that I was going to do that going into the episode. Looks like I need a few things here, but that shouldn't be a big deal. All of this stuff is pretty easy to make, at least at this point in the game for me. Okay, so let's run back over there, and I do want to make sure that these have good energy, and it appears they do. So one thing that I did not do is I did not configure this energy cube to be outputs on these sides, and I do need to do that. So let's go ahead and do that. And the auto eject is on, so it will transmit power out of the reactor, or out of the energy cube, sorry. So this is the back face, this is the front face. I don't need to do bottom or top. So these should have plenty of power, so cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and hook this up via an export bus here. And I do need to go ahead and hook that up like so. And I do want to put an export bus on here. I'm going to tell it to export uranium. And let's go ahead and put the import bus right here. And that should work. I'm not 100% sure if it will or not, but it should work. And what I want to do now is I want to build the rest of the ME system, or the GUI basically of the ME system. So what I'm going to do is put down an ME drive. I do have a 64K storage cell here. It is empty, at least for right now. And then what I want to do is hook up this ME terminal. So this is a totally temporary location for this ME drive. I just want to get the reactor up and running today and the ME controller to make sure that it is valid where it's at. And then I might go ahead and cover this up and put down some elevators. But other than that, I think I'm just about done with this episode. So let's go ahead and place this down. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab this energy cell, because I'm going to use it to jumpstart my ME system if I can. So let's go ahead and run over here and place this down like so. So my ME system should get some energy. And actually, I had another energy cell with me. So what I want to do is I want to throw in my uranium into the system, and it should start exporting it into the reactor here. And as you can see, that is happening. So what I want to do now is I want to change these fuel rods because they are way too far out. It's going to be producing way too much energy. And let's go ahead and set this to 90%. That's probably still way too much energy, but you know, whatever, might as well. And let's go ahead and turn this thing on. So yeah, I'm producing a lot of heat, way more energy than I would ever need here. So let's go ahead and dial this thing down. Let's set it at 99%, basically producing as little energy as I can. So yeah, that seems to be working, and I should no longer need this here because my reactor is producing energy. And I'm not going to wait around to get enough waste to see if this system over here is going to work. I'm just going to hope that it does. And the next step is I do want to set up some elevators, but I also want to build the street above. So let's go ahead, and what I want to do is run back to my old base. I should have not got rid of all my dirt, but let's actually put down this energy cell. And this is the one that's configured, and I know that because it did not have full energy. The energy was creeping up because it was being charged by my flux capacitor here. So let's run back to my old base. Let's grab a little bit of dirt and some stone, and then we can go ahead and kind of call this a day. So I should only need 4 dirt, and then I do need a decent amount of stone here. I have some stone over here from my material stonework factory. So that's cool. Let's grab that and let's run back and kind of finish this thing off. So I do want to put dirt on the corners here just to kind of neaten this up. And this up here is going to be a street essentially. And there are going to be buildings on either side. And yeah, it's going to be pretty nifty. So let's grab this wand here and let's see if it says... Okay, so this is from the mod construction wand. So let me go into the options here and see what the controls are for that. Because there are different ways to change the configurations if I remember right. So let's actually do this. Construction wands. Okay, so it does not look like there's anything here. Okay, so if I just hold shift and use my mouse wheel here, if you look at the bottom middle of the screen, it's changing my restriction. So basically, if I change it to left to right, it will not be able to build on top. And so that's kind of what I want to do right now so that I accidentally don't place a bunch of blocks that I don't need. And I do need torches down here. So let's go ahead and start placing some torches just in some various locations here so that I don't get monsters down here because that is not good. And yeah, let's do that. I would place a torch there, but my temporary ME system or my temporary location for the ME drive and ME terminal are there. I will change that probably in the very next episode. But for right now, it gives me access to my ME system, all of the uranium that's in there, and hopefully cyanite in the very near future. But I'm not going to worry about that in today's episode. So let's go ahead and kind of finish off this street. This is kind of just going to be the middle of my new base here. And I do want to place down some elevators before I completely move on here. So this is where the export bus is. I should not need access to down here, but I'm going to give myself access to down here anyways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the first elevator. I'm going to place a torch on top of that. And then I'm going to place another elevator here. And then finally an elevator. Not there. Actually, I need it to be up one, because I need it to be at street level. So let's go ahead and build this first, and then now I can get rid of this. And now if I stand on top of the elevator and hit shift, it should pull me down. And then let's hit shift one more time and it pulls me down to the final elevator down here. Now if I hit shift again, it will not pull me down because there are no elevators lower than this. And basically you have to have these elevators stacked on top of each other in the y-axis here. So if I placed an elevator over here and tried to use it, it should not let me do anything, and it is not. So that's cool. I know that it is working as intended. So now I can go up just by simply jumping, and that is going to be super nice to have. So let's go ahead and finish out the rest of the street here. And that shouldn't take but just a second. And I think that's a good wrapping up point for today's episode. So in today's episode, I basically started my new base here. I have the base of an ME system. It's just right now pretty much just a shell. But I do know that the ME controller is active and it is one multi-block structure. As you can see, the colors are changing in unison so that I know that it is one structure. We do have access to a little bit of storage here. I can dump all of this stuff in here, and it will be able to hold it no problem because it does have a 64K ME storage cell in here. So yeah, in today's episode, I built all of this stuff, started my new base here, and I'm going to be expanding this quite a bit in the next few episodes. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to drop a like down below. If there's anything I could have done better or differently, just let me know in the comments down below as I try to read all the comments. If you enjoy large-scale automation in modern Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel, as that's typically what I do, and I will be diving into that pretty soon. So anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.